Whoops, had my mic on mute. What's up, everyone? Good morning. My name is John Crispala. Welcome to the live stream. We are actually broadcasting in three different platforms today. And so we're currently on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, please hit the like button. And if you are on YouTube, hit the like button. And if you are here on Telegram, welcome everyone. Good morning. And for those of you guys out in the Philippines, for those of you guys that are in the US or wherever you are, good afternoon or good evening and happy Friday. Not quite Saturday over here yet, but we are in for a treat this morning. And I'm just excited to share with you guys our story on what we have going on over here on Pandoproject. My name is John Crispala, by the way, and I will be your host. And I am the business development director for business development in the Philippines for Pandoproject. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction and have a short clip that will help deliver that. So why don't we go ahead and jump right to it, shall we?
Today, over 80% of all internet bandwidth is used for video streaming. As technology advances, demand for video services increases exponentially, and current infrastructures struggle to cope. The result is a poor streaming quality and slow loading times for frustrated consumers. At Pandosoft, we are disrupting the whole streaming technology paradigm in order to deliver better streaming to consumers. We are creating a completely decentralized streaming platform to spread the load and greatly improve the quality. So whether you are a broadcaster looking to connect with your audience, a developer, or just a user looking for an easy and secure way to share, you'll be much happier with the result. Pando is the name of a giant network of trees that all form one giant plant. Each individual tree is a rammet in the network. In the Pandosoft project, we are gathering individual rammetrons to participate in a network structure to make one giant platform. That's where you come in. In order to create the massive decentralized platform, we need a lot of individual machines to each take a little bit of the load. Similar to the way that Uber uses independent drivers who each choose when they want to come on and off the available driver network, Pandosoft allows individuals with computers to put their machines on and off the platform and get paid for giving bandwidth. Almost everyone has a computer with extra bandwidth to spare, especially when the machine isn't being used. Why not use it to make some money? Here's how it works. When you're watching videos or when you are sleeping, you can set your machine to be a rammetron, and we'll tap its extra bandwidth to stream videos for local viewers. Don't worry, your computer data will not be accessed or compromised. Our platform can only access the bandwidth. When a bit of bandwidth is available to the system from a lot of computers, streaming viewers will enjoy greatly improved quality and loading time. The more your rammetron gives up bandwidth, the more you earn. You are in control. You'll be paid in tokens, which can be exchanged for cash, or used to send donations to your favorite streamers, unlock premier content, or buy and gift virtual items. With Rammetron, all you do is stream, relax, and earn. So join the Rammetron community today. Visit pandosoft.com today to get started.
So what makes this movement so special? And in the beginning, I was just like, I couldn't believe, like, wow, something like this actually exists. And because for me, I trade crypto, and I'm an investor of all sorts of things. But I've been heavily involved with crypto for the last couple of years, and I've seen so many different projects, and a lot of them I've seen fail, and a lot of them I've seen prosper and flourish. But when I came across this particular movement, I was just astounded because of the fact that you are actually solving a major issue, which is the lag. And that's kind of the whole reason, that brings you to my first question, why would you want to take advantage of this project? Because the big problem that we have right now is the issue with the centralized server. If I can get there you go. The biggest problem that we have right now is the way streams are being delivered is through a CDN server. And oftentimes, if there is a heavy load of traffic funneling in, it creates a bottleneck. And that's what causes the lag and the buffering and that kind of slows down the speed. And especially in the Philippines, you have a lot of lagging issues, and I'm sure you guys could agree with me on that. And so with Pandoproject, we actually created a technology which we call the Ramatron, and we have this on a decentralized platform inside the blockchain. And for those of you guys aren't aware, inside the blockchain, it is a peer-to-peer, right? And so having it peer-to-peer and being able to deliver the stream of data inside a decentralized platform, that alleviates a lot of that load that the current CDN servers are currently experiencing. And so not only it becomes a solution, for those major companies, right? It also, it liberates and it gives choice, power, and control back into the community, which also translates into profits, because hosting and managing these servers and the facilities, it costs millions of dollars per month, right? So just imagine, once we go mainstream with this technology, maybe some of those companies might be jumping on our network just to help solve their lagging issues. And so that is something that we are able to deliver. Excuse me, my phone's ringing. And so with that said, in order for you to accomplish that, there's only two main things, right, that can make that work. And those two main things are, first, number one is having a laptop, and second is having Wi-Fi. And it's just as simple as that, right? Those are the two main things that is required. So the origin of this whole thing comes from the Pando tree. And with this image right here, it may look like a massive forest, but it's actually one big giant plant, and the roots are actually connected together. And so it could be like one end of the branch could be kilometers away from the other end, but yet it's still one big giant plant. And so with the Pando network, the way this works is it is a massive global streaming platform that is made up of 1 million decentralized computers, which we call Ramatrons. And so you can have, one PC that's located in the Philippines, and then you can have the other end that could be in the opposite end of the world, all the way out in Alaska in the US, but yet it's still in one platform, right? One big giant network. And so basically what I'm trying to say is you can turn your computer into a profit generating machine, right? An individual computer that could be set up as a Ramatron, what it does is it shares their excess processing and bandwidth, and you can actually get paid for it. Okay, so how does this work? Normally what's happening right now is with content creators, what they do is they upload their videos into the platform. And because of the the work of delivering videos to viewers is done by all the connected Ramatrons, which you get paid for, and because of the decentralized system, the viewers, the end user, can actually enjoy less lag and buffering. And all you have to do is just download a software. And I've seen projects out there that actually, what's one of them? I don't know if you guys ever heard of Helium. With Helium, they share like Wi-Fi or something like that. But it costs like $500 just for you to get their device and for you to mint their token and whatnot. And so with our Ramatron, you can just download the software. It doesn't cost anything, and it just runs in the background. Right, you won't even notice that it's there. And so it's very lightweight, it's efficient, it's secure, and it's extremely smart. And so what it's using is it's just using some of your processing power, and it also it utilizes it takes up some of your unutilized bandwidth from your internet. And that is already something that you're paying for every single month, right? So whether if you use it all or not, you're paying for it. It's exactly the same price. Well, how about sharing some of that resources, since you're paying for it and you're probably not using it all, but when you're sharing, that's how you power up the platform. But for sharing, you're actually getting compensated for it. All right. And so you can invest in as many Ramatrons as you would like, because the way this thing is activated is it's activated through staking. All right. And so you can buy as many units. You can buy, you can invest in one, you can invest in 100, 1,000, no limit, right? And then you can just stake them all in one PC. And I can dive in a little bit deeper later on as we get deeper here in the presentation. And so it will not access any of your files or your data. So it will not do any of that, because the only thing it's designed to do is to access your excess bandwidth that you are allocating. So it won't interrupt any of your daily tasks, nor will it slow down your computer. You hardly would even feel it, because like right now in this stream, I got so many different, as you can see, I got like 7 monitors here in the background. I got too many different programs running at the same time while I'm also live streaming. And yet my Ramatron is also on the background, and I'm not currently experiencing any lag, and so, which is great. And most importantly, it will not compromise your security. And so the only requirement is this, okay? And it's not even that difficult. If you have like a laptop that's dated back from like 2012 or 2014, I think you're pretty much good, right? Because the minimum requirement is you need about 4 to 8 gigs of RAM and about 100 gigs of storage space. And we use many different operating systems. So if you've got like Windows, Mac, or Linux, all good, done there, right? If you are more of a techie guy that's kind of on the go, and you don't want to lug around your PC, and you're more than welcome to have it on a server, in a cloud server. And so we have a program for that as well, that you can subscribe to. And the minimum requirement for that, or you can build your own. The minimum requirement is 4 cores, 8 to 16 gigs of RAM, and also 100 gigs of storage space. And that is operated through Linux Ubuntu V18. Okay, so what's the catch? The only thing is this. This is a truly limited offer, because we have only arranged to have out there in the global community 1 million Ramatrons to be taken up. And so once the cap has been reached, that is pretty much it. And currently, there's roughly about 170,000 that had already been taken up. And so it truly is first come, first serve. All right. So get yours very soon. And I'm going to tell you why you should get it soon, because it will generate so much activities. But what are those activities, right? I've already talked about the foundation. The foundation basically is the Ramatron, because it powers up the network. So once the network has been powered, what will it deliver? Let's dive into that. So what I'm here to present basically is the future of streaming. So these nodes, the Ramatron nodes, what it's going to do is it'll be powering up an entire ecosystem that includes an array of decentralized applications. And right now we've got about 5 applications in the pipeline that is ready to be released. And I can dive in and explain each and one of them, but I'm not going to. But I'm just going to highlight one. And that one application is our Pandoproject app. And what it is exactly is it is an interactive platform that serves everyone who wants to live stream, upload videos, or simply just consume and watch videos. And we had gone through a lot of beta testing over the course of the last couple months. And we have been, diligently taking in everybody's feedback now, because we value our beta testers. And so what we had done is we had actually, did a complete remodel on the application. So we're changing the user face, and we were going to release it, but you know what, let's just go ahead and just do a makeover and change the looks on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what that looks like. All right, so here we go. All right. So that is what we call live streaming reinvented. And right now, this is on scheduled for it to be released sometime next month. And so what we're doing right now is we're in the process of releasing our version 4 of our what am I trying to say here? Um, a Ramatron application version 4, because that's gonna be in preparation of hosting the app release for this. And so stay tuned for that. And we've already given out snippets of a little bit of details on what it looks like from the inside, from what we have done as far as progression goes. And so we are going to keep you guys up to date. So we're literally inches away from that release. So stay tuned for it, because it's going to be an exciting application. You know why? Because everybody can go live with just a click of a button. And so a lot of these live streamers, these YouTubers, what happens is you have to get a third-party application, which is like an OBS, right? And sometimes those things cost money. And so what we had done was we had actually built that in within the application. And the application, by the way, you can actually download it for free. And so anytime you want to go on live, push the button, and there you go. You can live stream. You can take it on the go anywhere. And so if you happen to be a content creator, you can pretty much take your whole entire platform on the go. Um, and which also brings you to my next point. You can keep most of your profits, because what happens once you're monetized on YouTube, right? You basically have to engage in contract, and normally they take anywhere from 30 to 50% of what you currently generate. And so what we've done here is we've created this platform to where you can actually keep majority of your profits. We're not saying to ditch YouTube, because that's a great platform in its own, but you're already creating the content. And so why not take that exact same content and then upload that into our platform and give yourself an opportunity to expand on a larger audience? And but you're already making what you're making here, but over here you have a larger opportunity to make more. And so I just wanted to point that out. We also have 12 different revenue models, and that's right, that's 12, 1 2. And just to kind of go over some of these things, right? We got anywhere from merchandises, predictions, badges, marketplace, sponsorships, tournaments, advertisements, VIP status, donations, subscriptions, gifts, and so much more. And this is just within our Panajo app. And I've already mentioned that we've got 5 applications that we are going to be releasing. So just imagine we've got 12 over here. What's going to happen when we release our next application after this one? That may have an additional 12 revenue models. Who knows, right? So stay tuned for that. Of course, the most important thing is being able to deliver seamless streaming, right? With your Ramatron, with our technology, any content creator and viewer can enjoy seamless streaming on our application, the Panajo, and you can do that from any corner of the world. We've also got some really unique features that comes with this application. We have multi-angle cameras. And so imagine being able to have on the go, right? When you're doing your live stream, you can have up to 4 different angles. And so if you've got like four cameras or 4 sets of mobile phones, you can have different angles on different sides wherever you want to take them. Or what you can do is you can actually have 4 of your streaming buddies go on your live show. And one of the biggest movements right now that's happening, especially here in the US, a lot of content creators and YouTubers, they're actually they're mashing up on each other's lives. So you've got like this major YouTuber, then you got another major YouTuber, they do a live together. And by doing that, you actually attract a bigger and a larger audience, and it keeps the excitement alive too. And so I'm not sure if that's something that's happening yet everywhere else, but I know it is a bigger trend right now, especially in the crypto space. And over here in the US, it's what we call like a crypto drama. And if you don't follow much of it, you will hear a lot of it, right? It's kind of like Days of Our Lives in the crypto space. And but it's exciting, and I love it, and that's what we live for. All right, moving along. Advertising space. So this is something that eventually we will evolve to, because we are a business and we're here to make money. and be profitable. But at the same time, we're giving our node holders, our investors, the opportunity to earn along with us. And so, like I said, right, started from the beginning, we talked about the Ramatron application. That is the true foundation because it is the relayer of data, right? It's what's delivering the stream from end to end. And so with that, we've got our applications. And then once our applications are released, that's going to attract a lot of users, viewers, subscribers, content creators. And then eventually what will follow is advertisers, right? Because with they will follow wherever the traffic is. And so with these advertisers, they can actually place their ads. But in order for them to do so, they have to actually purchase our native token, which is the PTX. And so that creates a utility on its own. And so they can't just give us cash. If they want to place their ads, they would have to go on the exchange, buy the PTX, and then make a payment on PTX. And so it keeps everything in the ecosystem. All right. Merchandise paradise. So imagine, right? If you're currently a content creator, or if you are wanting to be one, you can have your own merchandise paradise. So if you already got some ideas, you already got your t-shirts, your hats, your hoodies, your shoes, your jewelry, whatever it is, you can sell on your merchandise paradise on this application. And of course, you're going to be utilizing our native token, the PTX. So you can create a bigger following with that, but at the same time, you can sell your merch. So I've explained quite a bit of how we are creating a lot of utility, and but with our utilities, it's all powered by our native token, PTX. So advertisers, they have to purchase PTX in order for them to place their ads. Users buy gifts or badges for themselves or for other users using the PTX. Tournaments will have to register, and the prizes will have to be in PTX. So if you guys aren't aware, right, within this year alone, we are going to have an esports tournament, and we are looking to have about roughly 100,000 registees to engage within this tournament. We're going to be hosting a couple of them this year, and so that's going to be pretty exciting, right? Especially in the Philippines, right? It's the gaming capital of the world. And so get ready for that because it's going to be massive. And then, of course, users, they can donate or send PTX, to their favorite streamers. All right. So unlike most tokens, the PTX will be heavily utilized. And as I've already mentioned, advertisers, even sponsors, tournaments, the merchandise, the marketplaces, they all will be utilizing PTX. Formal transactions from all the decentralized applications users, from content creators, viewers, creators, and marketplaces. We also have controlled circulation and controlled supply because of the fact that you can't just be a massive whale just gobbling up the whole entire supply of the PTX from L Bank, which is where we're located in terms of an exchange, and just to drive the price up. And then once the price skyrockets, you do a major sell-off and then dumping the price down. And so we won't have that because of the fact that with all the utilities that's happening within our ecosystem, even with the Ramatron alone, right? In order for you to activate it, you have to stake, and then that's how you would generate your passive income through staking, because you can actually mint the tokens every single week. You get weekly rewards for doing that. From the ads, and also from the tournaments and everything else, right? There's so much more. We're gonna have so much products and so much more utilities coming up. And so with that said, right, it's got controlled circulation, controlled supply, and that's because of the fact that we are creating a lot of demand for our token, and we only have 1.5 billion in total circulation, right? And if you read our tokenomics, which you'll find on the white paper on our website, pandoproject.org, you will find that after the end of this year, we will be burning 50% of our tokens. And so what will that create, right? It will create scarce, and that will also drive the price of the token up. And so that is also one thing that I'm excited about. So, and the price currently where it sits, it's a very, very attractive price. And so if you guys can see the opportunity of where this movement is going, and if you look at the price right now, you are a pioneer investor. And so if I were you, I would take advantage of that and just start collecting and start staking and mint the tokens. And because imagine, because right now, once it gets to the point after we release all of our utilities, and we got a lot more utilities coming up, imagine when that price goes up in value, right? And so will, the amount of tokens that you have will also increase. And so that's just something that you want to keep in mind, because we've got all the, we have easy adoption, right? Very easy to use. We have a great ecosystem with a lot of utilities, and we're definitely going to scale, whether you like it or not. You know, I've already been in conversations to where we are engaging in doing some partnerships, and we're networking with other blockchain projects because they see what we're doing, and we can act, and the things that we're doing is actually a solution to what they are trying to accomplish. So rather than recreate it themselves, what they're doing is like, hey, I like what you're doing here. Can you produce this for us? And the answer is yes, absolutely, right? Because we have that, we have the ability to do so, and we already have the platform. We even have our own blockchain. And so most projects, what happens is when they go out into the marketplace, they don't have any utility, right? They have nothing to offer because they don't have any resources yet. And that is why they have to go out into the exchange so that they can attract some investors. And once they have, they have some funds raised, then they will go ahead and make an investment on the utility, because they are here to make a promise to deliver on what they had stated on the white paper. And so even, some of the projects out there right now, you know they get so excited about the wallet release, and they are already 6 months delayed in releasing their wallet. And so I'm just saying, with us, we are in a very fortunate position because of the fact that we have been working in the background since 2018, and we don't have any debt. And so that's what makes it great, because we don't have to answer to anybody. But we have been building utility after utility after utility. We've already got a wallet. We got the Ramatron. We got the staking program. We got 5 applications. We've got a lot more that we are in the process of, creating a patent on, some of the things that we're working in the background, which I'm not at the liberty of saying or mentioning just yet. But we got a lot of things in the background. And so if you can just see of what is coming, wouldn't it make sense for you to be stocking up on our token before those tokens get burnt up? So I'm just saying. All right. The future is basically here. And whether you like it or not, everybody's going to be utilizing crypto. It's already beginning, right? The government's already talking about it. They're already setting up the regulations in place. They're already talking about, creating their own, coin, or their own token. And so just imagine, like 10 years ago, when Web 2.0 just released, and you guys know what Web 2.0 is, right? It's like the era of social media, like the Twitter, Facebook. That was Web 2.0, and nobody would have known that everybody will be jumping on Facebook, right? And people were skeptical, but look at them now. We even have 80-year-olds that have their own Facebook accounts, and everybody's on social media. So now we are on the next frontier, the next level, Web 3.0. That's, jumping into the blockchain, the heavy utilization of crypto, and everybody's going to be utilizing crypto. And so whether you like it or not, you're going to be part of that. And so why not be part of the movement at the early stage? If you knew that Facebook was going to be a multi-billion-dollar corporation, wouldn't you have invested in it, even just a little bit, right? Back in 2009, or like 2000, around that era. And so it's the same thing here right now. And whether if you're a gamer, a live streamer, content creator, or just simply, a user, or just a consumer, right? You're going to be part of it. And so why not take advantage of the opportunity and make the right investment? Of course, doing your own research, and start being part of the movement. Okay, because any developers can create a good app, and the only problem with that is, anybody can create a good application, and it could be kick-ass. But the fact is, where they really struggle and where most people fail is the marketing of it. Because you can go ahead, this is what happens, right? Most app developers, they will produce their app, they'll create it, and then they'll release it on the App Store or Google Play. And then from there is where they will start doing their marketing. And that's where the failure is, because to market, not everybody knows how to market, and of course it takes time and resource and the right strategy to have the right exposure. Well, what we have done, we've taken a step, a little bit different, right? Because I mentioned earlier that we've started our project back in 2018, and we've been developing, a lot of our use cases. But while we were doing that, we were actually creating a community. So we've got a pretty decent amount of following. And imagine, right? 170,000 Ramatron units have been taken up. So there would be at least 50,000, within the community in there, wouldn't you think? So imagine this, right? So let's just say 50,000. So imagine we released Panajo, right? And from day one, boom, the community just downloads 50,000. And so by doing so, don't you think that will kind of put the application on Google Play or Apple Store on trending status? And so once it's on trending status, it kind of gives a little bit more curiosity, like, oh, what is this Panda Joe app? Okay, I'll probably go check it out and read about it. And chances are, right, the ratios will play it, will play itself, and they probably will be downloading it and they'll be using it themselves. So that's how we were able to do things a little bit more different. Okay, so we've talked a lot about streaming, right? I've talked about the foundation, I've talked about the application. And so now, how do you generate passive income? Let's get into it. So the first thing that you need to do, first and foremost, is download your Ramatron application. Go to pandoproject.org, pandoproject.org, and then you can click on the tab Get Now, and then you can download your Ramatron app. Okay. Next, create your Panda wallet, which we already have. You can also get that through our main website, pandoproject.org. Everything that you need to know about the project is, even our blockchain explorer is also on pandoproject.org. Okay. Our white paper is also over there as well. And by the way, we're fully doxed too. We're a doxed team, so you're not gonna see an avatar on our name. We actually have real names, real faces, and we're completely legit. All right, we're in 20 different countries, and we're constantly expanding. And so I just want to let you guys know that. But you'll find out later on as you dig through the website. Okay, so create your Panda wallet, and then you would activate your Ramatron through staking, and then you would get your PTX through LBank, which is the exchange that we are on currently. All right. And so the pairing on that is USDT. And so for those of you guys that are in the Philippines, a good approach would be using your Binance account, because Binance has USDT. And then from USDT, you would send from Binance to LBank. And then from LBank, you can go ahead and make your purchase of PTX. And what PTX looks like is that little gold coin right there with our logos. There's two PTX on LBank, so I just want you guys to be aware what that one looks like. And it looks like this. It looks like our symbol. Okay, and so when you make your purchase, after that, what you would do is you would send it to your Panda wallet. And so after you make the purchase of PTX, it's going to go from the Panda wallet from LBank. I'm sorry, the PTX wallet from LBank to your Panda wallet, right? The one that you had just created. And then from there, you would activate your Ramatron through staking. So you would select on Ramatron node, you hit continue, and then you would proceed on the stake. Now, with the staking, it is a minimum of 250 PTX. That is not a whole lot. And right now, the current price action is roughly between 13 to 15 cents. You know how much that is? That's basically 30 USD. Okay, that is a very good price right now. And so 250 PTX is the minimum. But what you can do is you're not really limited to that, because if you're already thinking about it from an investment standpoint, like, hey, I want this thing working hard for me, so can I get some more? The answer is absolutely. So you can get, the minimum though is one Ramatron, right? 250 PTX for one Ramatron. And so you can get 1,000 units, you can get 5,000 units, whatever, floats your boat, basically. And so you would invest what you're willing to invest in. Okay, what are the types of earning? Okay, number one, Ramatron node earning. And the way that works is, number one is okay, this is the Panda token basically. and I've already mentioned the 250 PTX. And so the first method of earning is through staking, right? Because that's how you would activate your Ramatron. And so the first type of staking is simple staking. And the way simple staking works is you would take your 250, the minimum example, which is one Ramatron, and so you would go up on the network, and basically you need to have a simulated score of 100% for 1 week, and that's basically 40 hours, right? So 40 hours, that's roughly about, a couple of hours after you get home from work. Or I have some of my investors, they just leave their computer on all day, all week, basically. And if you're that kind of guy, then you really have nothing to worry about. But for somebody that likes to turn it off and on, that's okay too, because that's why we have 1 million set up. Because out of that 1 million, not everybody's going to be on, because this person here could be on, but then this person on the other end of the world, they have theirs turned off, and then vice versa, right? So somebody will always be on, and that's why it would be good to have as much as we can to fulfill the 100 million Ramatron units activated, and so we can have adequate amount of that, the balance of taking care of the load, basically, when it comes to transferring the data transfer. And so you go up on the network for 40 hours with 250 PTX. And what this is going to yield you, by the way, with simple stake, get ready for this. It's going to yield you 100% APY. All right. You heard me. That's 3 digits. 100%. 100. How does this work? That gets broken down into 10% per month, but you are going to get your rewards weekly at the rate of 2.5%. Okay. And so in this example with 250 PTX, at the end of the week, after you've been on the network for 40 hours, 2.5% of 250, that's basically 6.25 PTX. And so you can actually, you can withdraw that and exchange it for fiat, or you can exchange it for another token, do whatever you want with it, right? And because you're going to get that every single week. And so what does that look like for the month? That's going to be 25 PTX for the month. And then for 6 months, that's going to be 100 PTX. And then for a whole year, that's 300 PTX. And so you're starting out with 250, and then at the end of the year, you end up with 300. You add the two, you've got about 550. That's actually a little over 100% APY. And based on let's just say hypothetically, right, with this, with the price action of 20 cents, and that price did not move for the whole entire year, for example, hypothetically, that would give you a value of 60 USD, right? And based on 20 cents, you started out with 56 USD to activate your Ramatron. And like I said, right now it's at 30. That's why I say it's at a good price. And so you would end up with from 56 to 60. So that's over 100% basically. And so that's just the bare minimum, right? And if you were to invest on a larger amount, and I'm just going to throw this out there so you can kind of get the drift of what I'm trying to get at. And so with $50,000 investment, right, at the end of the year, basically, that's going to yield you, 53,000. If it's 100,000, that can give you as much as 107. And so one of the questions that I usually get is like, John, is this only really like for the elite investors? Like what about us small people? Well, the answer is like, yeah, anybody can do this. I've already told you, it's like just that you can settle with one Ramatron, and if you're content with that, then that's great. You can just continue minting the tokens, and if you want to let that compound and let it work for you, you can keep restaking it, right? But for those that actually sees the vision and that have the means for it, you're more than welcome to get as much more as you want, as you are willing to. Okay, and so that's simple staking for you. So now let's talk about the second method, which is compound staking. So compound staking is a little bit more for the long-term investors, right, that actually sees it. And the way compounding works is this. You start out with the exact same example for the first week with 250 PTX. You go up on the network for 40 hours, right? At the end of the first week, you get 6.25 PTX. But now, instead of actually cashing this out, what you would do is you would reinvest it, and you would restake it and add it onto your 250. So when you enter the second week, you're going to go from 250 to 256.25. So you go up on the network for another 40 hours, and then at the end of the week, you are going to earn 2.5% now on 256.25, which would yield you 6.40, which is a little bit higher than the week prior to. And so imagine if you did that every single week, right? What does that picture look like? Let's take a look. At the end of the year, you are going to have a total of 903 PTX. And based on the 20 cents example, that's going to yield you 180 USD. Okay. Now we're talking about a little over 300% APY. Okay. Opportunity there? Absolutely. You can't find that in the bank, right? And so with 50,000 example, that's going to yield you about 4,600 in a month, right? And up in 1 year, that's roughly about 161,000. With 100,000, definitely changes the dynamics of it, because that could yield you roughly a little over 300,000 in 1 year. So that's compound staking for you, okay? And you have the option, whatever works best for you. And for the proof of network, basically what this says, you just have to be on the network for 40 hours. And as long as you are able to accomplish that, then you have nothing to worry about. And so one of the most common questions that I've been also getting is, John, what if I go over 40 hours? And so right now we're capping it at 40. And if you do exceed, it doesn't really add more to it. But eventually, what's going to happen is once we release more application, and then the need for having longer hours in the network is going to be required. So therefore, the adjustments for the compensation above 40 hours may be in effect. So, but currently right now is at 40 hours. Okay. Now, this is where it really gets me fired up, which is the proof of engagement. And the proof of engagement, the way this works is when your node is delivering work, delivering stream, you're going to earn when you're doing that. So, give you an example, right? Your next door neighbor is watching a movie and he's watching Spider-Man, but your node just happens to be the closest node available. And that node is the one that is delivering the stream to your neighbor. And so since it is your node is going to earn the rate of 0.01875 PTX per minute, right? That's per 60 seconds. So to put that in perspective, at the value of 20 cents, hypothetically, if your neighbor is watching 5 hours of stream, that's going to yield you 33.75 USD. Okay, that's 33 bucks. And so if your neighbor was watching like the whole entire season of Game of Thrones and they're just watching like episode after episode, season after season, 24 hours per day, that's going to yield you 162 USD. Okay, this goes on top of your compound staking. That goes on top of your simple staking. And now you got this proof of engagement. So this is where you can actually now have the option of expanding where you want to position your Ramatron. Because for me personally, the way I view this, I look at this as digital real estate. I invest in real estate as well. And so I'm all about real estate. But when I first saw this, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is freaking digital real estate, digital properties, right? You guys heard about metaverse and buying real estate inside the metaverse. Well, this is an actual physical digital property because of the fact that if you have the luxury of having, let's say you have two PCs, right? And instead of staking all your Ramatrons in one PC, you can actually split it in half and put one over here too. Okay. And then maybe you can put this other Ramatron in maybe a high traffic area where you have the potential of, engaging in more work of delivering stream. And so you can take advantage of the proof of engagement that way because you're going to earn exactly the same thing when you're staking, right? And when you're doing compound staking. But where it really makes a difference is the opportunity to earn proof of engagement. And so it's more of a question now of how many workhorses would you like to work for you, right? One workhorse or two workhorses. Okay. And so for me, I want to have as much as I can. And I want to have a whole farm of these workhorses, these Ramatrons, because I want to collect on these proof of engagement because it is passive income. Okay. And the good thing about it with this digital property, you don't have to get a mortgage because you own the whole entire outright. It is your property, and you are in position to earn passive income immediately, right? All you have to do is just turn it on. If you're a gamer and you love play to earn, P to E, you're gonna freaking love T to E, turn on to earn. And all you gotta do is freaking turn on your computer, and bam, you're earning right away, right off the bat. And so if you're a gamer and you put these two concepts together and merge it, then you're in a winning position, right? And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Okay, I think you get my point. And so we've talked a lot about that. And the next thing, which also brings an opportunity in itself, is we also have a Ramatron referral reward. And the way this works is we want to be able to have a solid foundation, right? And so in order for us to deliver, high quality stream, we need to have a nice balance of these Ramatron units in certain locations, basically all across the world. And so what we're willing to do is we are willing to reward people who make referrals. And so what they will earn is actually quite generous, because they are going to earn 10% of the deposit stake. And the way this works is when you have your Ramatron app, right, you would go on your left on the dashboard on creating a referral, and it will generate you a link. And so you would get the link right there, and you would share that to your friend. And then what happens is when they activate their Ramatron, and depending on how much they stake, you are going to earn 10% of what they actually deposit. So what does that picture look like? Let's put things in perspective. If we're talking about just one Ramatron, right, that's 250 PTX. That is going to be 25 PTX that's going to be awarded to you, and that just goes straight to your Ramatron, basically, instantly. All right. If they deposit 10 Ramatron, that's 2,500 PTX. 10% of that is 250 PTX. If they do 100 Ramatron, and for that's actually quite a normal transaction. So just to let you guys know, when you find these referrals and they actually deposit, these large sums, it adds up. This thing adds up, and especially when the value of the token starts to increase, can you just imagine what that would be valued at? And so if they deposit 100 Ramatron, that would be about 2,500 PTX. If they deposit 1,000 Ramatron, that is roughly about 250,000 PTX. So 10% of that would be 25,000 PTX straight to your Ramatron, and that's instantly. And so think about the opportunity there, which is awesome. So go ahead and make those referrals if you can. All right. So a little bit about our blockchain. First off, right, it's very sustainable. We actually don't do proof of work, and our protocols through proof of stake. And because we know the fact that it's safe for the environment, it's friendly, it's efficient, and it's community powered, and it's more rewarding to our node holders, right? Adoption, we have our ecosystem, and we've got a buttload of applications that we are getting ready to launch. I didn't even get to mention about the NFT marketplaces, and of course we have our ever-growing community. Interoperability, I kind of explained a little bit about how we have the ability to solve other projects as lag issues, and so we've got some relationships that's being built outside of our community. All that does is it just enlarges the community, and I think it's great, right? And so which brings it to the utilization of it. And with the revenue models, from advertisers to esports subscriptions, it just makes the project more attractive overall, right? And so one thing that I wanted to share real quick as we end here is we have an extra bonus of what we call the GPS. And this GPS is what it stands for is global profit sharing. And basically what this is something that's way more for the future. And it's a limited offer, because what it is it's it is a pool of the revenue, right? Of the overall revenue that's being generated from advertising. Of course, that's when we are stabilized. We got all our applications out, and we got commerce going through, and we're creating business relationships with all these advertisers and stuff. And so just imagine, we've got these advertising revenue that's coming in, and then we carve out 10% of that, and we put this in one pot. And then what we'll do is we'll distribute that to all of our Ramatron node holders, right? That's additional from what you're currently earning, aside from all the things that I've mentioned earlier, right? So this is kind of like I don't know what to put it. Well, it's kind of like a it is a profit sharing plan. Yeah, it is what it is, right? Global profit sharing, and that is through the entire global community, right? It's not just limited to the Philippines. It's basically all across, right? Global profit sharing. 10% gets distributed to all of our node holders, and the last day for that is actually today, April 30th. And so, and that's kind of the whole reason of why we want to be able to make this last push for those of you guys that have been missing out on it. Now is the chance for you to take advantage of this, and all you have to do is just activate your Ramatron, and so the time is ticking. You pretty much have the whole entire day because it's Saturday and Saturday morning. And so that's just something that I want you guys to be aware of, and it is something that you can take advantage of, because once this is over, that's pretty much it. Okay, so just be aware of that. Cool. All right. We've got a video that's going to be dropping out today, and it's through Key Finance. And Key Finance, she's got about 150,000 subscriber on her YouTube base, and so I've been in communication with her, and she's got a pretty good, awesome review video that she's producing for us, and I'm actually quite excited about it. And so keep an eye out on that. I will make the announcement once it is released, which will be sometime this afternoon, hopefully. And if you can join us on the 5th of May, we are going to have a live AMA with SLG. And this will be on Discord. And this is actually from Tito G, from Tito Vlogs. And we've got a great relationship with Tito Vlogs. He is actually one of our official ambassador for the Pandoproject. And I'm just actually quite excited to have this relationship with them, because I respect the guy. I learned quite a bit from him. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch him on YouTube, please do so. Check him out and comment. And we did an AMA with him, and that was a very fun event. And if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, check that out and like the video and write a comment and tell him like, hey, we love you, Tito G. And so we are going to be on his show, actually on the SLG show. He's one of the founders for SLG. And so we're going to be on Discord. And so if you guys have the chance, please jump on that, help support. Let's raid the whole entire community. Let them know who we are, where we're coming from. And so here is the address for that, right? And so if you can just take a snapshot of that, then you can plug in on May 5th at 8 p.m. All right. And then we also have what we call a CSR program. And what this is this is more of the nonprofit side of our project, because we want to be able to contribute back into society, right? And I love being in a position where we're at right now, because we're actually changing people's lives. We're educating young individuals on how they can invest, and understanding how to have their money work for them instead of working for it, because that is to be a crossing over point. And because we're all working for money right now, but then you want to have that crossover point to where the money is now working for you. And the only way to do that is through compounding interest, money working and earning on top of money. And so if you do that at such a young age, and even with just a small amount, a penny, 1 cent or peso, one per day, that doubles every single day. If that thing doubles like 10 times, I mean, you're already wealthy. And that's exactly what we're teaching right now, because we're offering Ramatrons to college students, and we are allocating 2,000 in the Philippines. We're allocating 3,000 in the U.S. and for a total of 10,000. And so we've got 2,000 of it in the Philippines. And so if you are eligible for this, all you have to do is be a student, and we'll just need a copy of the name of your school, a copy of your school ID, and then an email and the phone number, and then that's it. And then we'll set you up with the Ramatron, and you can enjoy the benefits of it, right? Because you'll stake it, and then you can reap the weekly rewards every single week, and then you can cash that out, or you can just restake it and let that thing compound, right? Maybe you can take a visit on it and what that looks like maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It just, who knows what the value will be, but I'm looking forward to it to be in a very good position, a lot higher than where it's at right now. I can't really share too much about that because I don't want to get in trouble, but I think you get my point. And so that is available for students. And if you're a student and you want to take advantage of this, you may want to take advantage of it now and today, because that also puts you in position for you to qualify for global profit sharing if it was activated today. And so that's just something that I want to point out, and be mindful of it. And so what I am going to do is I want to open this up for everyone, for anyone that has any questions. And so if I can just let's see here. I forgot to do this earlier, but if anybody has any questions, I am posting a link to where you can jump in and ask your question, and so anybody is welcome, and you can ask me anything. You can even just get on and just say hi. And so I hope this has been helpful for you guys. And we are just getting started. And all week long, my good friend Edward, he is currently out in Thailand right now, along with our CTO and CEO, and they've been on this massive um, what you what you want to call that. It's kind of more like a crusade, if you will. So they've been doing a lot of media publicities, and you know they've been creating a building over there for a new facility in Thailand, and so they're making they're making noise over there, and that's just goes to show the kind of movement that we have, and that's exactly what's going to be happening over here in our market, along with the global community everywhere else. And we are very much on our infancy stage. And so just imagine where this will be once it hits critical mass, because our current market cap is only at 300, what was that, the 30 million, I think. And so yeah, a lot of good growth there, and I'm very excited about it. And we haven't even really gone marketing. And so once we hit critical mass with the marketing blitz, it's going to be game over. And so we've got somebody here with us. Growth there, and I'm very excited about it. And we haven't even really. Hey, you got some feedback there, buddy. And so once we hit critical mass with the marketing, there you go. With this growth there, and I'm very excited about it. You got some feedback over there. Maybe put on the headset, or turn it down, maybe, or
No, no. Actually, I had to
oh,
turn
there you
off
go.
uh, Telegram.
Right on. How you doing, Waddy?
Good, good. You?
Good, good.
Okay, so I am very intrigued by this project. I mean, my first question would be, how long have you guys been really working on this project?
um, as I mentioned earlier, we've been working behind the scenes since 2018, and yeah, I mean, we've just been working quietly in the background. And I mentioned that we don't we're not in debt, so a lot of our resources came internally. And so we've just been building a lot of our utilities, for the whole past 2.5 years, and we're just now coming out of the woodwork, and we're making our case, and just waiting for the approval on going critical mass with the marketing. And I know without a doubt that once we do, then especially in the U.S. market, then everybody's going to start taking notice of our technology, because it really is a great technology if you really look into it. And
No,
so,
yeah, I mean, I was surprised, the type of utility that you guys have. I mean, your own blockchain, you already have a wallet, you have a very, very impressive staking system. And I mean, wow, man, if I'm honest with you, it just sounds too good to be true, but I really like the project. I see the utility, and explain to me a little bit more about the Pandojo. Am I saying it right?
Panajo app. So the Panajo app is basically, it's meant for content creators, gamers, or even just regular users, people like you and I, right? And so think of it as a combination of YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch with a little bit more bells and whistles. And so anybody can go live with the application, which they can download for free. And all they have to do is just, click one button and they can go live. And they don't really need to have, kind of like this software right now that I'm using, StreamYard. You don't need like a third party OBS that you need to make an investment on. So it's already built in within the app. You just push the button and you can go live. It's also got a feature to where you can share up to four streaming IDs. So you can have four of your streaming friends going on live together, or you can use the stream IDs to have four angled cameras, right? So when you have your own live show, you can position those cameras in strategic places, and you can have your good side,
Well, see, it's funny because I'm actually trying to figure out which is my good side, because I'm looking at the camera, which is in front of me, but then I'm looking at the screen, which is on top of me. So, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, it sounds really good. And now, one thing, is that like, would there be like, I know it's an app, but I'm saying, will you automatically be able to integrate it into YouTube to use it, or how would that work?
um I would like to say yes on it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm sure that it's going to have those functions. Because that's one thing that we don't want to take away, right? We don't take away from YouTube. And that's why I was saying, if you're already creating videos, uploading into YouTube, why not add that into an additional platform where you have a bigger opportunity to expand your base? And that makes it even it creates a bigger opportunity too, because of the fact that you can keep more of your profits on this side, right? Because with YouTube, they once you're monetized, they're gonna take a big chunk of everything that you're generating, whether if that's from donations or from the ads and whatnot. And so, I mean, YouTube is a business, right? Because it costs billions of dollars, utilizing the platform, and so they have to take their carve out, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, what also goes my attention is like, for example, and not trying to knock down YouTube or anything, but correct me if I'm wrong. So every content creator can actually earn rewards of PTX while you're creating the content and while you're using the app, because
Yes. Oh man, you're gonna love this, right? when
uh,
you're watching a YouTube video, what normally happens, right? An ad pops up, and what do you normally do? When that ad pops up, you wait
skip.
for the skip button to light up, and you skip away. And so, how would you like this concept that every time that an ad plays on Panajo, we're gonna pay you for you watching that ad.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
even more interesting.
Yeah, it is. And that's one of the amazing things with that, because you know, not only you're generating for that because of the fact that you're also a node holder, right? You're powering up that platform, and you're already earning just for powering it up. But now that gives you more opportunities to earn more just through this application, because you don't have to be a professional streamer, right? But
Correct.
anyone would have the ability to go live just for their pure enjoyment. And for doing so, you can actually earn our native token, the PTX. And so yeah, there's so much moving components within the ecosystem, and Panajo is just the beginning of it. And especially when we begin to host our esports tournament, because we're already engaging with that tournament coming up sometime this year, and we're already looking to have at least about 100,000 players involved with this, and it's going to be streamed live on this platform.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Now, or I don't know if that's reserved information, but do we know more or less when we can expect this app to come out? Because hey man, I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna be the first or second person to actually start using that.
Right on. So right now we're looking in the month of sometime in May. So basically, what had happened was we've been doing heavy beta tests for the last 2 months, and of course, we take the feedback, very seriously, and so we try to accommodate everybody's feedback, and we take the best of the best, and then of course we make a correction and we implement and make the adjustment. And so right when we were about to release it, based on those feedback, we decided to just kind of do a makeover of it, changing the UI interface, and so it has a different look and feel right now, and so we're going to be doing more beta testing and have it in preparation for the release. So, but it's definitely going to be the first app, that's for sure.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, the other thing that I was gonna ask, because with YouTube, you have to have a certain amount of subscriber for you to actually start getting paid. Now, how would that work with Pandojo?
That is actually a good question. But if you were to ask me, I mean, you should be able to start earning right off the bat. But don't quote me on that. I will have to get back to you and get you a concrete answer.
Okay,
But the fact that you will be a node holder and you have the entitlement for the 12 different revenue models that the Panajo has to offer along with that. I know that the all 12 will be released in phases with each feature, but it is designed to have 12 revenue models, and some, like the merch store, right? If you have like your own branding, like shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes. You can have your own merchandise place where you can make those offering. Make doing retail sales basically, right? And so
correct.
when your viewers, your subscribers are engaging in that, of course, one thing that will be utilized to make those acquisitions and those purchases will be using the PTX, right? So it creates more demand for the usage of our native token.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, the next thing is as far as the Rematrons, um, you mentioned that it's kind of unlimited, or did I misunderstood?
They are limited because they have only set up to have 1 million of these units. Uh,
Okay.
right. And so the current count right now is in the 170,000 range, probably past that by now. Um, but once it is all at capacity, there won't be any more need for more, and so it truly makes it a limited time offer. Because once these nodes are in place, then the whole infrastructure would be balanced, if you will, and stabilized, so that the transfer of and the deliverance of the stream is already at the quality when needed. But I can imagine, if ever comes a need for more, then we'll probably have that conversation. But as of now, 1 million is basically the cap, and so.
So basically, it's first come, first serve. So if I was you, well, just in general,
Mhm.
yeah, man, I would definitely jump on that. Now, is there a limit to how much you can actually put into staking?
You can so each unit, each Ramatron is 250 PTX to activate. And so when you are making a stake, you're basically staking, in the increments of 250, right? So that's because that's one. So if it's like 10 Ramatron, then that would be 2,500, and then so on and so forth. But you can stake as much as you want, and when you are staking, you're basically that gives you the opportunity to mint our tokens, and you can receive the rewards every single week. So
Okay.
and so that would have to be every Sunday or Monday, depending on where you're at. And then once you receive your reward, you would simply push withdraw, and then once it's withdrawn, it's gonna go straight to your Panda wallet, and then from there you can actually restake it afterwards, and so that's how you will compound it at that point, and let the interest stack on top of the interest that you're earning. So, and that's how we're able to accomplish the 300% APY, if not higher. But in terms of the language of your PTX token, you can surely get 100% APY just on the simple stake format. But on the compounding stake format, you can pretty much get 300% return on it. So it's not bad actually, and then it's very straightforward. And I know I've seen some protocols out there that's offering like enormous amount of percentage, but it's like, what is really the likelihood of it? But this one is more. It is more calibrated. It's more predictable, right? So it's not really complex, right? You've got a utility, you're activating it through staking, and you've got a solid number that you can expect that's going to be awarded to you every single week, and it shoots out straight to your wallet. So hope that answers your question regarding that.
It's yeah, it's pretty clear.
Uh, by the way,
Now,
you guys, if there's anybody else out there that's got questions, please bring them on. Click on that link. Come join us live. Let's hang out, and let's talk shop.
yeah, I would say my two last questions would be as far as burn, if I understood correctly, 50%.
That is correct. So the burn at the end of the year will be 50% of its circulation, and then year two would be 25%. So it's kind of tiered down, and we only
Okay.
have 100 and we only have 1.5 billion in circulation, and so which makes it pretty nice because I mean, once we get rid of that, I mean, what will that do for the token pricing, right? It makes it more valuable.
Yes, actually, in my experience with the crypto world, that's why when you said 50% burn right off the back, I was like, Jesus, that's gonna be a big price increase, hopefully,
Right.
obviously. also um, goes by supply and demand, but that's pretty good.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
now it goes back to my last question. I know that you guys already have the token on L Bank,
Mhm.
and pretty much the major question will be whether exchange or you cannot speak about it yet. And if you can, I understand. But more or less, what are your plans as far as exchanges?
Our plans for exchanges. I mean, we're having we've got a lot of talks right now with different exchanges, and so we have one that's coming up pretty soon. Another exchange, and we can't announce it yet, but we are also in the works of, how should I say this without getting in trouble. Um, let's just say that we're trying to cross the other side, and if you know what that means,
I
then
understand.
okay. And yeah, so I don't want to give away to where I have legal all up in my face, but yeah, so when we get to that point, then that alone will be a major catalyst on its own, because that just invites, a massive wave coming in. And what that will also do is it will open up more opportunities and more exchanges to to be listed on. And so yeah, that is one of the things right now that I am engaging in, is, being able to make that happen. And we are having those conversations, which I'm very happy to say. And so we're just waiting for things to materialize. And we'll update you as we make the progress and as we have the green light to make those announcements. No.
I really, really appreciate that. I know I did say that was the last question, but this question I do have to ask because I feel like this project is way too good to keep it kind of on the hush hush. And what are you guys doing regarding marketing? To make that big noise where everybody could see what is Pando and pretty much want to get investors.
Hmm. That's actually a great question, and that is something that I am also having multiple conversations in terms of planning. And I mean, for me right now, right? I myself, I do work on things that I can control on my end, and because my main focus is on the Philippine market, but I also think on the global level, and certain things that do need to take place in order for everyone to benefit from a global standpoint. And so that's a great question, and we are having those conversations in terms of making that execution, because once we do have that campaign in place, and if ever it will happen, then we can certainly see extravagant price movement. And so the price right now where it's currently at, in my personal opinion, and don't take this as financial advice, it is a damn good price for an entry point. And if you can study the charts, there's a lot of consolidations within that range between 10 and like 13, 14 cents. And so with that with that said, right, that pretty much signifies that the next direction where it's going to go is most likely in a direction where you would want it to go. So, so yeah. Hope that makes any sense.
No, it does. Well, I think I'm pretty much good with questions. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
And well, just
And
the last question.
sure.
would you be willing to come on my channel and speak about this project? Because if I can help, I'll be glad to.
Absolutely. Why not?
All
So
right, yeah, because
you tell me the time and the day, and I'll be there.
all right, it sounds perfect. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Hey, just let me know.
So, yeah, I mean, I really like the project. I see where it could go, and I mean, as a recommendation, just my personal opinion, uh, get the whole marketing started. I mean, talk to whoever you gotta talk to, but that is very important. Obviously, the exchanges, but mainly the marketing, the making noise, the letting everybody know what is Pando Project about.
Of
Because a
course.
project this good shouldn't be keeping it like pretty much like I said, just quiet between us type of thing. Okay?
I understand. And noted.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming
And,
on, Wadi. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the great questions and caught me by surprise. And thank you.
all right. Have a good one. Take care, John.
All right. Thanks. All right. If anybody else has any questions, please feel welcome to go ahead and click on that link that I had placed on the chat. Or you can simply just put them on the chat and we can get them addressed right away. And so, if not, then we will end it here and I will sign off. But I will give it about another minute or so and give you guys an opportunity to ask your questions, if any. So, if you guys have any questions regarding anything that I had talked about earlier in the overview, whether if it's regarding from the global profit share, CSR program that we have, um, I mean, those are you know important things to address currently, knowing the fact that the global profit share entitlement pretty much ends today. And so, all right. So if you guys are good to go, then I will give myself a pat in the back, knowing the fact that I have pretty much addressed any questions that you may have had since you guys are not typing it in. And so, yeah, I'll go ahead and end it from here. And I just want to thank you all for joining me live. And if you guys can help me out, um, we are active on our Telegram group chat. And also, we are looking to expand further on our Facebook and our Twitter. And so, if you guys can help us out, and you guys can also stay in touch with a lot of our developments and also our future announcements. And so, please follow us on our social media handles. And with that said, I will conclude this AMA, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. And stay tuned for further announcements. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thanks again and peace out.